In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys everything you need to know to start playing Fortnite Ballistic, including tips, tricks, the best weapons to carry, and strategy. Let's get started. Before we hop into our first game, there's a few things I need to explain, like how the aim works in this game. As you can see, if you start moving, your crosshair becomes very large and you don't really have any accuracy. But as soon as you stop moving, you'll go back to the precision crosshair. But if you really need to be moving around while you shoot, try ADSing to get some more accuracy. If you've played a few rounds, you've probably noticed your aim feels weird. In order to fix this, go into settings and change the first person mode sensitivity down to around 80%. Unlike in normal Battle Royale where you can turn on visualized sound effects and literally see sounds like footsteps and shooting, in Ballistic you have to listen for those audio cues. So I try not to yap my teammates' ears off in voice chat because listening really helps, like in this clip where I had to watch 2 corners at once. So by hearing that guy's footsteps, I was able to tell that he was behind this close wall and not the far one, which allowed me to adjust my aim and get the kill. So in order to not get absolutely cooked like this guy because you're louder than the average AT-AT walker, there are 2 things you can do. The first is to crouch while you walk, and the second is to ADS while you walk. Both of these will completely remove the sound of your footsteps. Alright, with that out of the way, now we can hop into a game. To start, you'll have to pick a flex gadget. I'm going to choose the recon grenade because it's really easy to use. It allows you to scan enemies so you can see them through walls and even through flashbangs. For the first round, we're only going to get 800 credits to spend. So what I would recommend is buying 25 instant shield and then a grenade. Because this way, if one of your enemies buys a hand cannon, they'll have to shoot you 3 times to the body to kill you, and the hand cannon shoots really slowly, so you're going to win that pretty much every time. Looks like we're starting on defenders, so here's the basic strategy for defense. You want to split your team in 2 and have half go to B site and half go to A site so that you can cover both sites. Once you can see the other team and what site they're going for, you can call the rest of your team over and hopefully sandwich them. But how can you hold off an entire team by yourself? What I like to do is throw a smoke grenade right at the door where I know they're going to be coming through. This really makes them think twice about coming through, and they don't know that you're a solo over here. But in this case, there was nobody on my site, so I knew they had to be on my teammates over at B site. So I started to try to rotate over there, but then pretty much my entire team died and I was left by myself. Then I got cooked in this 1v2, but sometimes it can actually be better to die. Let me explain why. If we look at the credit amounts that we get for each round, a round lost while you're eliminated gives you 1500 credits more than a round lost if you survived. However, you do keep everything in your inventory for the next round unless you're switching sides. So if you have something worth more than 1500 credits in your inventory, it might be better to camp and save your weapon. Now let's switch to attackers and I'll show you the basic strategy. On offense, you get to choose which site to go to. We can use this to our advantage by having our entire team crash down on one site. Our goal will be to take out anybody on the site we're attacking, then we'll plant the device before anyone else on the other team can arrive, then we'll wait for somebody to try to defuse the device, and then we'll eliminate them. Let me show you how to do this. We're going to be pushing B site. I'm going to throw a recon grenade here to try to find where the players are. As you can see, the guy I scanned is in the hallway back there. So even though we didn't eliminate the entire team, since there's cover and I'm throwing a smoke on my teammate, we can plant while there's still people in the site. Planting is very important because it forces the other team to push you. Then you can basically just camp and pick up free kills. You can also pick up loot from eliminated players and save them for the next round. Here, once I see that the device is for sure going to explode and they don't have enough time to defuse it, I'll run away to make sure I don't get blown up, because then I can keep this striker AR for next round. Also keep in mind the round is never really over. You can still get kills even after the round is done. Now let me show you the best weapons. My favorite weapon is going to be the striker AR. It does a lot of damage at a really fast fire rate, and the Nemesis AR is pretty much the same thing, so whichever one you like better, just use that one. The Enforcer AR is also pretty good if you don't have as much money. Even though it has a slower fire rate, it does more damage, so if you hit somebody in the head, it's guaranteed to kill them. Now on to SMGs. The Hyper SMG is a solid option if you're really low on credits because it's basically a mini striker AR. But I would not recommend getting the Thunder Burst SMG. It doesn't do that much damage, and having burst at close range is pretty buns. Now let's move on to shotguns. If you're going to use a shotgun, I would recommend moving around a lot and trying to dodge bullets, because the shotgun's crosshair isn't affected when you move. Generally, I would always recommend getting the Frenzy Auto shotgun over the hammer pump if you have the credits, because the Frenzy Auto is really strong at close range. As for the hammer pump shotgun, it's best if you use it in combination with your pistol, where you pump somebody and then spray them with your pistol. I'm going to skip over the hand cannon and the Reaper sniper rifle because I would not recommend these as a beginner. Now let's get into some quick tips and tricks. My favorite strategy with the recon grenade is to throw a smoke and then throw your recon, because then you can see people through the smoke and they stand no chance. The next tip is to play with as many friends as you can, because having comms is super important, and I think I'm undefeated when I'm playing with 4 other friends. If you manage to eliminate the player that had the device, make sure to camp the dropped device, because the other team has to come back and get it, so that's basically just free kills. Always try to plant in smoke or a shield bubble, because you're completely protected and this just makes it so much easier to plant. The next tip is to never give up, because earlier in this game we were down 1-4, but then we came back and won. And now for the last and most important tip, which is to subscribe.